Today on Dirty Laundry, we have an absolute treat for you all. From Jessica Jewellery, we have Jess, the one and only, who is going to tell you all about what to do with your leftover wedding jewelry. Engagement rings, wedding band, gifts, anything. So stay tuned for a fabulous episode. All right, welcome, Jessica. Jess.
Hello.
Jess from Jessica Jewellery.
That's me.
Jessica Jewellery.
That's me.
Nice
JJ.
alliteration. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
It's very memorable.
Yeah,
I love it. So you have been working in the jewelry business.
Yes.
For quite some time.
You were born into it, right?
Correct. Yes.
She was born into
My
business.
parents have a wholesale manufacturing and distribution
Amazing.
company for fine jewelry that
Okay.
supplies retail stores. I'll cut this story short. So I was always immersed in fine jewelry.
Yeah.
I'm first generation Canadian, so I grew up with like a really strong work ethic demonstrated to me by my parents. And my parents always encouraged me that if you have a friend who wants a pair of earrings or a necklace, we can bring it home for you. You have no investment. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you put it back.
Amazing.
And that was
Cool.
kind of the philosophy of how I started.
Huh.
So I started this as a side hustle. I was working in banking out of school
Wow.
and finance. And I started as a high side hustle when I got married at the very, very young age of 23.
Wow.
Wow.
That is
Um,
young.
It was young, but I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
So
I
you
had
got married.
friends. No. I mean, like, I had friends. Obviously, we had a social life, but we
Yeah.
didn't have kids. We weren't
Right.
planning on having kids right away.
Right.
So
You're so
in our
young.
evenings, and we were so young.
Yeah,
So in my
so young.
evenings, on my weekends, we were like, why not try? I have nothing to lose but my time.
Right.
So I started like that. And then, my husband's friends started, learned what I did. And they were like, oh, can you help me with an engagement ring? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course I can
Good
help
time
you.
of life too.
And it was a good time of life.
Yeah.
So I started helping some of my husband's friends with engagement rings. Those turned into wedding bands. That turned into this. That turned into
Push
that.
presents.
Yeah, and that was further down the
Anniversary,
line. And then while I was still working full time at the bank at one of the big 5 banks downtown, and I was actually working full time. I think when you modeled for me.
Really?
Yeah.
You were in between babies? You just had a
No,
baby?
I think when you modeled for me, it was my first.
Okay,
And
so I modeled for you. A little side
This is a
note
little
here.
background.
This is a
Little bit.
background.
Yeah. That's how
Yeah.
we met. I did modeling for you in 2018-ish.
Yeah, I
wanna say
was still
2018.
working in finance.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot, yeah.
And I did that. I would take I would do it, or maybe we did it in the late afternoon or something like that. Because I was very respectful of like doing my work and then doing this really in the evenings and weekends. But what I did was I opened up an Instagram page.
Sure.
And then that turned into like online requests. And I remember when someone bought their first pair of diamond earrings through DM on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and
need
she
to
was
see some
like,
ID?
here's my credit card. I'm like,
wow.
okay. So then I took it. I remember being like in the path downtown in between buildings, like writing down the credit card number on a Post-it note.
Amazing.
And then I was like, hey, there's an opportunity here for me to open an e-commerce store. Like I could do this. So then I built my website on Shopify.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going more and
Love it.
more. And then in 20, I think it was in 2018, it was before I had my first, I was like, I just can't manage the capacity anymore. I obviously was like, I need to make a call here. So I left banking.
Wow.
And then I, devoted all my resources to the business. And I think what made us successful from the beginning was I'm very transparent. I'm very honest. I put a very fair and reasonable price point in front of my clients. Like
Right.
I'm not always looking to like make the extra $200 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think
Your
about
stuff
like
is
the
reasonably
lot. I make it
priced. It
very
is.
reasonable. And that's really that's really stayed consistent over the years, even as I've gotten bigger. It's just about like doing what's right for the client and operating an honest business. And I was, the example that I have in my parents is extremely strong.
Yeah.
And so it really was a story of like a side hustle that
passion
got bigger.
projects.
Yeah, but because I have a business background, I actually like ran it from a business standpoint, not from like, a creative standpoint.
Right.
And I continue to run it
Interesting.
in that lens.
Right.
Of course, I have to be a little bit creative. Like you have to have ideas.
Yeah.
You have to have an eye for
But
these
you
things,
at the end of the day have to run a business.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to say like I'm lucky that I have it, but I am. I have a bit of both sides of the brain, essentially.
So are you designing?
Yeah, so I do
Okay.
a bit of both. I do design custom work, but a lot of people come to me with their own,
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
inspo. Like
Right.
people, there's so much out there.
I was
Out
gonna
there
say,
now, it's like
it's
they
so
probably have a
different.
full Pinterest board of
Yeah.
like
Of
everything that they want,
Everything.
and like the dimensions, even down to
100%.
everything. Right?
And now with AI,
Right.
people are even coming with like
They
AI
understand.
renderings of things
right,
that they
the
want.
renderings.
Wow.
Wow.
And so I'm there to be like more of
Interesting.
a sounding board of like, it looks good in the Pinterest board with a 6-carat diamond.
Right.
Let's like scale it down
With
a little
your budget,
bit. With your
it may not
budget,
look as good.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Reality
just
check
remember, I
sometimes.
am,
Yeah.
the gentle
No, but people
voice
need
of reason.
that. People
Yeah.
need that. Like that's when you get into like the sort of more of a shisty operator that's like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
In this tiny thing. And then you're miserable, you're unhappy.
Yeah.
And then what?
So I would rather be like straightforward and honest and like
Right.
things take longer and more time and more resources and have a happy client at the end of the day.
Right.
and then they come back,
And
right?
then
They
they
come
come
or they tell a
And then they tell their
friend.
friends.
a gift
Yeah.
for somebody. Or
So is it predominantly then custom, or do you have a store, obviously an online
we have,
shop?
Yeah, we have an office and we ship online. I would say it's probably like it's hard to give a percentage, but like my bread and butter is custom. Like what
Okay.
I spend my time on is custom.
Yeah.
And probably like 70% custom still. And like 30%, just like gifting items.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like there's certainly like holiday season is much busier. And
It's
Valentine's
busier
Day.
for
the
gifting.
initial bracelet.
Yeah, like
or
the mummies, the moms all,
the little you get the necklace with the initials on.
Yeah,
for the
that's
kids,
starting.
kind of
That
stuff.
like had a
Mother's Day.
huge moment.
Yes.
The initials.
Yes.
Now it's like dying down a little bit, and people want to be a bit more creative. But
Yeah.
there's usually like the first time mom that has a baby, and they have letter
I have
A.
all those. Yeah.
Yeah, and they want to do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice.
it's nice to have
It
that.
is.
It
Yeah.
is nice to have.
It is nice to
Yeah.
have.
So from like an industry standpoint then, I'm curious about now with this influx of like lab grown,
Yeah.
how is that
Yeah.
changing versus like the, the regular, I don't even
Natural
know, earth
diamonds.
diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like mining.
yeah.
Because obviously the mining practices were so scandalous and
yeah,
improper, and the blood diamonds, right?
this
So
diamond,
Yeah,
like,
but
yeah,
that,
how do you
but
navigate
that like the blood diamond is like not a time of today.
No.
Like,
good.
that doesn't listen. I'm not in Africa or like
Right.
mining. I'm
Right.
not in the mines to know
Okay.
what goes on.
Right.
But lab grown diamonds have definitely changed the dynamic.
Yeah, change the business model.
And
And
I
now
now
you
imagine.
change
you
the
can't
business.
tell sometimes.
I don't
You
think you can
usually
tell.
cannot tell.
I
What
mean,
gives
you
it
probably
away
could tell.
is the size.
Yeah.
Yes. If it's like over, like it's bigger than you, doesn't match.
Then that
the-
person's
When it doesn't match the, when it doesn't
Well, it
match the
doesn't match the
person.
lifestyle, and they have this massive. It looks like it's 5 or 6 carats. I mean,
Right.
it's like,
No,
It's-
some
but
people do
lab-
pass down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
right.
It's such a controversial topic.
Yeah, why
Okay,
though?
Why? Because like the people who are on Team Natural,
Yeah.
and I will say I'm on Team Natural.
That's fine.
I like
I'm just
natural.
I'm just
Okay.
curious.
Are like, it's almost like it's lab is like a play for size,
I see.
right?
yeah.
In most cases. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, who am I to judge how people want to spend
It's
their
their
money?
ring or it's
It's
their
their
piece.
ring.
They have to
Who ca-
wear it.
Who cares?
Yeah.
What I caution when I tell my clients is that just be prepared for the language around lab grown stones. In my opinion, I feel like I don't even know if I want to say this like on air, but like
Do it.
Now you have
Now
to.
I have to.
Yeah.
I just think
Say
that the language could change.
Like what? Say more.
I just think that the marketing around them when they first came out was crazy good. Like they were
Mm.
really well marketed to
Right.
the point that it was a little bit deceptive, in my opinion, to a
Interesting.
lot
Right.
of average people, and there was a lot of
Right.
money made on people.
Mm.
And this is a
Oh.
couple of years ago where I actually used to turn away clients if they came to me for lab grown because
Interesting.
because they were priced very high for what they were.
Right.
Right.
And I like if a 3-carat lab, for example, like 3-ish years ago,
Yeah.
could have been like $10,000-$15,000.
Right.
Now, granted, a natural is well over $30,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
well
still
over.
a lot.
But that's still a lot of
15,000
money.
for a lab grown.
Exactly.
Like,
That's still a lot of money to spend. So I was always worried that, in a year's time, the price of it would be cut in half or even more than that.
Mhm.
It's been cut
It
into
has.
significantly more than
Right.
that. And people would come back to me and say, like, how could you sold, like, you made $12,000 on me?
I
Right.
And that's definitely not
see.
the case. What's happened is that as
suppliers, the technology's changed. Yeah.
exactly.
Right,
So as
and
any
they're
commodity,
depreciating is what you're saying.
there's
too.
no value.
There's
to
no
them.
value. Like a
Right.
diamond is forever.
Will hold its value.
You can pass it
so-
down for generations.
Yeah. So a diamond, can you get all your money out of a natural diamond? No,
No.
you can't. And
Right.
if any jeweler will, if like But is there value in it? Yes. You can always get something out of
Right.
it.
Right.
But you can't always get, you're never going to get what you fully pay because people are obviously making money along the way.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
But with the lab growns, like it was like the markup on them or like what they were priced at was too high in my opinion that I was worried that it would be like looked at as a form of price dishonesty.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know if I want to play this game.
Right.
So I didn't play for a little while.
Yeah.
fair.
And then nowadays, like a 3-carat lab, I just sold one for a
Yeah.
pendant for someone was $1,500.
$1,500.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's less than a purse. A designer purse.
Right?
No, but seriously.
3
For
carat.
just
that's
a stone.
wild.
For 3
Yeah,
carat.
sure.
For just
sure.
a stone.
So then, like, yeah.
So like now people are
Whoa.
like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Right. Because it's more.
well, it's just in line with like kind of what it should be
The
because
value
there's
of
so
it.
much
Okay.
so much supply out there.
I almost see it kind of like a car. So you know the old adage of like the second you drive the
second
car
you drive
off the
it is-
lot,
exactly,
it depreciates. But then you have like a vintage something,
Yes.
a Mercedes sports
yeah,
car
which
that will
is like-
hold its
Yes.
value.
What-
Because of whatever, however, versus, everyone can drive this latest, new, greatest,
Right.
whatever, but you couldn't resell it for anything near what you got it for.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That kind of, I
It
feel like
kind
that
of does
analogy match.
align a
Yeah.
little bit.
Vintage, like canary diamond is probably
Oh, I
worth
mean,
something,
that's worth a lot more.
right?
That's
Versus like
different.
a lot, like these lab diamonds in 30, 40, 50 years from now.
No,
garbage.
even
Garbage.
it's not about garbage. Like they do
Garbage.
lab.
garbage.
Yeah.
Throw them out. Like
Throw
they're
them out.
garbage.
So cutthroat.
They're not trash. They're not trash.
They're not trash, but they're not as valuable.
They don't have any value.
No
to
value.
them.
the value.
Okay, so no
They
value,
don't
but
have
not
like
trash.
you could go to a jeweler and say, "I want to sell you my lab grown diamond." They're going to be like, "I'm not
There's
giving you
nothing-
anything.
Right.
There's nothing to be given for
Okay.
it.
Right. So it's
Huh.
They're being produced. It's a commodity.
the mass produced.
It is a mass-produced
Yeah.
item, and they do
Like
very
fast fashion.
kind
Yeah,
of in
like your
jewelry.
Zara
Yeah.
t-shirt is not going to be worth anything, but
Yeah.
your Dior t-shirt would be.
Yeah.
Right.
But listen,
Right?
on the same token, with young people these days, I totally understand that if you have a budget of $5,000 for an engagement ring,
Yeah.
you're not getting very far
Yeah.
because of the price of gold today as
Exactly.
well.
Gold,
so
yeah.
the cost of
Right.
your ring is really high. And like, in all honesty, people today with social media want a pretty big
They
stone.
want to have the picture when they
Exactly.
get engaged, where they have like the FaceTime.
Well, because everybody knows you're
Instagram.
scrolling.
When-
And they
Someone
have, like,
posts an image.
said
And what's the first thing you do? You zoom in on the
Right.
ring.
every girl wants like what?
Right.
What is it? Okay,
right.
What did you get?
So
What
like
should-
when
yeah.
I got engaged,
Yeah.
when I've been married now for 12 years. So when I got engaged like 13 years ago, I was doing a lot of diamond rings
Yeah.
under 1 carat. It was totally acceptable.
Yeah.
No, it's not that it's not acceptable anymore, but people just have eyes for bigger size. And
Right.
that is
Yeah.
unattainable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And like I said at the beginning, like who am I to tell you how to spend your money?
Well, exactly.
But what I just say is just be prepared for the language to change because the price of them is just now they're very low. And I don't know how much lower they can frankly go,
Yeah.
but just be prepared that like if you did spend 10 grand on a lab grown diamond that was, let's say,
Right.
whatever, 2.5 carats a few years ago, to know now that you could literally get the exact same thing for $1,500
Yeah.
or whatever
That's
it
a
is.
hard thing.
Is a
to-
hard thing, can be a hard thing to stomach.
Yeah.
Well, and so for those of us Luddites, such as myself, we were familiar with the real diamond or it's a cubic zirconia.
Yeah.
So like, where is this? Like the lab grown is really
where is
it's
it?
pressured and
It's pressured and,
yeah.
and it looks and is made physically of almost the same properties. They say it's like
Okay.
98 or 99% the same
Of a real diamond.
in terms of its physical properties. Whereas
Huh.
a cubic zirconia it does look more crystally.
yeah.
Right.
And it is less hard. So you
Right.
can chip it more easily.
I see.
So definitely
Oh.
physically and visually lab looks the same.
Yeah. So cool.
But they also
It
looks
is actually
very
really
clear.
cool because you
Yeah.
can make these like funky, cool
Yeah.
pendants or
Yeah.
rings or whatever. Like there's a lot of people who are saying like, I want an eternity band. I want a substantial eternity band.
Yeah.
That can cost, $15,000, $20,000 or more. Like if it's big diamonds and they go
Yeah.
all the way around
Yeah.
and it's nice
Sure.
quality. Like
You're-
I've done
you're in it.
many eternity bands for
Yeah.
$10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
But you have a couple kids, you have school tuition, you have
Right.
camp, you have a house that's
Yeah.
like
It would
we
be
all know
nice
the
to pay the
pricing of
mortgage of, yeah.
houses in Toronto, and like they want the look, like they want
Yeah.
that
Right.
look, so they get it, and
Yeah.
they get it in
And why
lab.
shouldn't they have it? right?
Yeah, like who am I to say?
Who the heck cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's a personal preference.
but I think it's important to know about the depreciation, right? Because if you're
Right.
saying, well, I am still investing, and,
Yeah,
and certainly
you're
at
an
the
informed
beginning,
buyer.
if I'm
That's exactly
investing,
it.
Be informed. You
it's
know
about
what you're
being
buying.
an informed
you know
buyer
what
because
you're-
all these
Yeah.
jewelers like 5 years ago would be like, yeah, lab's the same. They're worth it. Look, this is a 2 carat.
Yeah.
It still costs $15,000
Right.
or whatever. You would feel like it was worth something.
exactly.
Right?
Right. So now
So
it's more.
It's more so about just being like, okay, yeah, this is how much it costs. The ring is going to cost you more.
Yeah.
Like creating a custom ring, and like this is
Right.
just it's what it is. Like
Yeah.
it's about being an informed
Yeah.
consumer at the end of the day and knowing that of what you're buying and also paying a fair price. 'Cause,
Exactly.
Like you guys gasped when I said $1,500. There's plenty of people selling, let's say, a 3
Right.
carat lab for $4,000 or
Right.
whatever. Like that's a huge markup.
huge.
Yeah.
Right?
That's big.
My curiosity, I guess, is more just in terms of like the actual mechanics of making the lab grown.
It's all large
It
scale
seems kind of the
production
same.
companies. It's large scale
Yeah.
production, often overseas.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, but the
we're
real
gonna-
reason we
We
brought
are
you
here
on.
because we bumped
Yeah.
into each other at the nail
We
salon.
did. It's been a couple years.
It's been a couple
Yeah.
years.
What are you doing these days? What are you doing these days?
Yeah. So you modeled for me when back in 2018, I guess. And I also know your sister a little bit through a friend of
Yes,
mine,
yes.
which is nice. But we bumped into each other at a nail salon and then talked about what we're doing. And I had just posted a video about divorced redesign ideas.
Yes.
That's where this is how I
Yes.
ended up here.
And I was like, well, you got to come on and talk
Yeah.
about
Come and tell us all
So-
about it.
it. Because you can love your diamonds and still hate your ex.
And that is the tagline of
There
this
you go.
episode. And I'm going to
Yeah.
like totally use
Men come
that.
and go,
Just
but the
tattooing it.
diamonds
Yeah.
are forever.
Yeah.
Right?
You should trademark that.
Honestly, honestly.
Um,
But yeah, people do want to take their engagement rings or
100%.
wedding bands
Yeah.
and repurpose them
Yes.
and do
Yes.
something.
Like, what does that look like? Because
So,
we always
yeah.
talk about the engagement rings and the wedding
Yes.
bands and the push
Yes.
presents. But what about like the after?
The after.
The divorce
Yeah.
ring.
after all of that, there is now there are people doing divorce rings
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, so tell us what
Um,
that is. What is a
Divorce ring is like people are doing like either like pinky rings or rings for a different finger where they buy themselves a diamond
Oh.
Yes.
and then make a ring and they call it their divorce
Yeah,
ring.
it's not a repurposing. It's a new
It's a
buy.
new buy.
They
New
buy
purchase.
independently for themselves.
To celebrate.
Correct. To celebrate their new
Independence,
I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yes,
so.
that's
To say like I bought this for
for
myself.
myself.
Yes.
But they don't wear it on their ring finger, or they
I don't think so.
they wear it on a different finger.
I think
Typically.
on a different
Okay.
finger.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, so let's say someone who's newly divorced, they have these diamonds that they love the diamonds, but there's been a lot of pain, obviously, that goes into a
Right.
divorce.
Yeah.
What does that look like if they come to you, and like how do you help them?
So I'll say that like a lot of what I do is often like listening to people's
Yeah.
stories
I bet.
and being empathetic to where things came from.
Yeah.
And there's definitely been a lot of tears shed
Oh,
in
I
my
bet.
office
Yeah.
from everything. And it's hard. Like it's hard for a lot of women who obviously are the women who I'm seeing in these situations. And either they are like sad about what brought them there, or
course.
they think about their children, obviously, and
Yeah.
it's very
Well,
hard.
we always say divorce can be a good thing and often
Yeah.
is the right thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's still difficult.
It's still
Doesn't
hard.
make it less
Yeah.
hard
It
or
still
less
comes with
emotional.
a
There's
lot
sadness
of emotion,
sometimes,
yeah.
and-
Yeah, or just like
Yeah.
thinking about what could have been and like how you started off with this
Yeah.
person and then where it ended off. That's really sad.
And that jewelry meant what it meant.
What it meant.
Like
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
hope. Like I feel like when you get
Yeah.
engaged,
Yes.
there's so much hope.
Yeah.
And love.
And love and happiness.
Yeah.
Euphoria that comes with
Yeah.
that ring.
Because jewelry often like is telling a story.
It's very
It's
personal.
brought to you in a life's moment, right?
Mhm.
And then this is kind of taking that moment and saying it's no more and either doing something else with it or putting it aside or
Right.
whatever. So
right.
like I would say people come to me kind of in different stages. I often get a call like of a freshly divorced person who's like, I don't want the ring and I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just want to sell it.
And they just want to sell
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So you do that
And
as well.
Not really.
Okay.
There's more to this. He's
Yeah.
going to tell them to wait.
I will
Oh.
say, sometimes I say like maybe hold on to
Yeah,
it
wait.
Yeah.
for your kids. A lot of times
Right.
people have kids.
Sure.
And that's usually a more emotionally charged moment.
Right.
And it's harder because usually the woman on the other end like doesn't want anything to do with it.
Well, that's
like
the
she's
thing.
repulsed
Luck?
by it.
Like,
she's
is it like,
Yeah.
she's just like,
Why
if
would
it-
I give
if
this
it's
to my
gone-
kid
If it's
if I-
gone badly, they're just
Right.
like,
if it's
I
bad.
don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Right.
I want it out. I'll take whatever I can get
Totally.
and
Close this chapter.
Close this chapter.
There's a lot of
Which-
resales on Facebook Marketplace.
And I
of
often
engagement
tell them
rings.
to go to Facebook Marketplace,
Ah.
but it is difficult because you don't want to be in
Yeah.
a sketchy or vulnerable situation.
Well, totally.
But that's where you could get more
You
money because you're
yeah.
selling directly to another
Exactly.
person.
but also
Exactly.
taken advantage of, and
Yeah, no, but there's
sure.
obviously
You know
risks
what?
involved in
Yeah.
that.
I do think people are quite savvy shoppers, though. Like they want to see the paperwork and
Yeah.
make sure whatever jeweler
Yeah.
created it, like that there is some transparency.
Yeah, but there's no question that if you're a single woman going on Facebook Marketplace
Oh,
and meeting
sketchy
up,
AF
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
You can't meet up by
no, you bring a
yourself.
pal.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
But
go to Starbucks. like,
right,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right. Starbucks was like where I did my first
Yeah.
meetings all the time, by the way, like before I had an office.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually recommend, and I think this is like a good thing to do in life, is pause.
Yeah.
Like, pause. You're emotional right now.
Yeah.
Pause.
Pause.
Wait a minute. Let the emotion sort of ride, and
Good advice.
and then like let's regroup. I generally
Yes.
don't buy back diamonds. Like that's not my business.
Right.
I have done it from time to time to help somebody out,
Oh, it's-
but that's a
Oh.
separate business.
Yeah.
Right. The
Um,
diamond, the purchasing.
Yeah, and the like
the
consignment and
that's
whatever.
A whole
That's
other
a different business.
Yeah.
It's a different business than jewelry creation.
Right.
Right.
So usually like with those people, I tell them to pause, and like
I love that.
sometimes I'll get a call back a couple years later or whatever. But then usually for there's like the next stage of people who are, they're divorced.
They've done the pause.
They've done the
healed
pause.
emotionally.
They've healed a
sure,
little
they
bit.
didn't
They're in a
really-
routine.
Right.
They have a little bit of their life back. Their
Right.
kids have a bit of a routine.
the
here and
paperwork has been
there.
finalized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can breathe a
They can
minute.
breathe
again.
Life doesn't look as doom and gloom as it had been when they first maybe
Right.
separated.
Yeah.
They
Right.
figured they're on their feet.
They're on their own
They're
2
on
feet
their own 2
again.
feet,
And I
yes.
see a lot of women in that state as well. And they are looking to either take it apart and save it for their child
Right.
to use for a future time, because the ring now no longer has this like bad juju in
Right.
it, because things are more
Oh.
perhaps more amicable.
Yeah.
Perhaps there's respect and courtesy between the two
Redeemed
parties.
itself, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's just not as loaded with emotion.
with emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more it.
Yeah.
It can just be practical. You can look at it.
Exactly.
Actually,
It's
you know
just
what?
like,
It
you know
is a
what?
beautiful
My son
ring and-
might need, like, this was a
Exactly.
1.2 carat. It's a beautiful quality
Right.
stone.
They don't
You
make
know,
them like they used to.
Yeah, like
thrown
this
out.
would be 10 grand or whatever today.
Exactly.
Like
How
I
nice to
could,
be
how
able
nice
to
to give it
gift
to my
this
son
to your-
or
yeah.
to my daughter or
Right.
whatever, and give them
Yeah.
that start without the financial burden, right?
God, I would have loved that.
But they also don't have to use it for marriage. Like, I think that, like, let's say you did have a 1.2 or some type of solitaire, you can give it to your child to put into a necklace,
100%.
right? It doesn't have to be that you're going to give it to them for their,
Correct.
marriage and engagement, because it does come with sometimes.
Yeah,
a
so
little
I
bit
had
of-
I had a client bring
Yeah.
me a couple stones that she had from like maybe a separate ring. I honestly can't remember.
Right.
They weren't huge, but she had 2 girls. Like she had a couple kids, and 2 of the kids were girls. And we split up the diamonds and we
That's
put them
nice.
into a pretty bracelet for her.
Yeah.
And each girl got a diamond bracelet made from a stone
Beautiful.
from their mother, and it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I was told that you're not supposed to give sons your diamonds. You're supposed to only give them to your daughters. And this is why.
But what if you only have sons?
Okay, well, if
No,
you,
I actually more so hear like I'm saying this for my son to give
No.
to their.
So, well, I hear that.
Still.
I hear that you're supposed to leave your daughters your jewelry because it stays in the family.
Yeah.
So if you leave your sons a jewelry, they'll give them to their
wife,
right?
yeah.
And we know that it doesn't always work out. And so then your daughter-in-law or your former daughter-in-law is getting your
Yeah.
jewelry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think of that? Give it to, if
Honestly-
you have daughters, like leave it for your daughters. I don't know.
I think you should aim to have like really amicable and respectful, nice relationships with both your daughter-in-law
There's
and your
the-
daughter.
yeah.
That's
Fine.
the
Treat
politically-
everyone the
The
same.
dream.
Yeah,
I know that was
don't
such a
treat-
good,
that's the
good
dream.
answer.
That
like, no.
That is
it could
the
be
dream,
your
but like,
ex-daughter-in-law.
how nice is it
Yeah.
if you had that and your daughter-in-law had a piece from her mother-in-law, which is
Right.
usually charged with like maybe like more I don't know, like more charged of a relationship.
Absolutely.
Right.
But to have that to be like, you know, look how good,
how much she thought of me. Yeah. I guess
if it's appropriate, I think that's nice.
Yeah.
To do.
Oh, that's definitely the ideal.
Yeah.
But I think Amanda and I unfortunately have seen
Right.
the suboptimal
coming at it from a
ideal.
business perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, here's the real question though, too. If you had something from your mother-in-law and it did not go amicably
Right.
and they do not support you
Right.
as an independent mother of their grandchildren,
Right.
you're going to take that ring off.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to throw it in her face.
Yeah.
Right? Like realistically.
Yeah.
Whereas the daughter is like, oh, this was my mom.
Yeah,
It's
no, there's
different.
always
There's a
an
difference. Yeah.
unconditional, to some degree, love
Yes.
between a mother and
versus
their
the
daughter.
conditional with
Yeah.
an in-law. Right?
Yeah.
Let's just call it
Mother
what it
and
is.
daughter-in-laws, it's very conditional
Yeah.
on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Divorce, the majority pick their blood child.
Right. It's true.
Versus the
It's
in-law.
true.
Like we just have to,
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Right.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't think it's an of course situation. I will say there are some like
there are some
hideous
situations
people
where
that have
pick-
done hideous things,
Yeah.
and then it's so hard to watch
Right.
the family kind of back it up,
Right.
and you know,
right.
cover for the mistreatment of the in-law.
Right.
It's hard. Again, it's all very emotionally charged.
Every relation.
Yeah.
What I will say is that like every situation brought forward is unique.
Yeah.
Because it is all relationship
Yeah.
dependent, and
Yeah.
like there's no two relationships that are the same.
And that's also
And-
kind of what's the most fun about the jewelry is you do get to customize. You do get to find something that has a story or there's a history or there's a something to
Yeah.
it.
And you could retell
the
story.
story.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you could recreate.
So
Right?
So now I would say like if we now fast forward, like the woman has paused and now she's like
Right.
maybe saving something for a kid or whatever. Now I'm seeing also a whole new group
Yeah.
of people who are like 10 years out.
Yeah.
Like their kids are grown, they have their own life,
Right.
new partners, new work, like everything is completely different than where it was
Yeah.
before. And they still have their ring.
Right.
And they're like, I like this ring.
Yeah.
Like I
Mhm.
like this stone. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
wear it as an engagement ring, but
Yeah.
I want to make myself a ring.
I love
Mhm.
it.
And that was the whole like divorce
Divorce ring.
redesign
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
Because people usually like people don't want to, what we saw a lot before was people don't want to make it a ring because a ring kind of says bridal.
Right. Usually it's given to you.
Well, especially
Right.
the solitaire.
Especially,
like,
or if you think of a
Yeah,
diamond
exactly.
and how it's typically set in a ring,
yeah.
it usually says like marriage.
relationship,
Right?
something. Right.
But now we're seeing people who are like, I could do something funky. And I
Yeah.
prepared
Ah.
pictures and stuff that we've done. And I
Yeah.
have, these aren't like samples of finished rings, but like ideas of
we're
what I
gonna
bring to
try
people.
on.
Yeah.
Like, give me,
Like
give me,
there are
give me.
there are so many, a lot of these women are like, screw this. Like, I like the diamond. It's
Yeah.
a nice diamond.
I don't like him, but I still
They're
like the
I
diamond.
don't want to give it to my daughter.
Well, exactly.
I want to wear it.
Yeah.
Like, why shouldn't I wear it?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a little
I
bit like
think
a
that's
medal
like-
of honor.
Right, but even or
It is. You
or
put
it's
so much-
just a nice stone.
Or
And
you
like
just
you just
appreciate
want
the
to make
beauty.
a nice piece of jewelry for
Yeah.
yourself
Right.
because why not?
Why the heck
Right.
not?
Right.
Like I just like also the idea of like, getting divorced and having to take off the ring.
Yeah.
And then your hands
Are
feel
bare.
are bare and you're used to wearing a ring. And
Yeah.
it's just like, why should only married women have nice
Jewelry.
stones and
Yeah.
jewelry? Like that's not no.
Right.
Like, who made that rule?
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
100%.
Why can't a woman have a beautiful ring that like she doesn't wear on this finger? Or maybe she does. Who cares?
Right.
Like
Right. It's all about
agree.
like the symbolism and whatnot. And I think that like that's kind of been happening in recent
Yeah.
years or
Mhm.
recent months. And I think it's a like really healthy.
I think it's like
It's
reflective of like
it
women becoming independent.
Yeah, it
and,
gives like a bit of
becoming,
a reclaiming of.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like a very much what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like they're taking it
Taking
it
back.
back. It's just I don't know. I feel like it was
It's
very
like a reinvention,
yeah.
reclaiming. These are the words that are coming to my
Like
mind.
the traditional family where you have like husband and wife, Mr.
Yeah.
and Mrs. and she's got a ring and now it's like doesn't have to be that way. There's so many
Yeah.
different ways.
There's
to
different
be.
ways. Right.
Right?
Right.
You
And the
can-
ring, the diamond, like, yes, it was gifted to you at a certain time in your life. That time's over. And like
Yeah.
you don't need to
Mhm.
overanalyze it.
Yeah,
It's just a
exactly.
beautiful
Enjoy
diamond
the
and
diamond.
enjoy it.
yeah.
Right. And that
Yeah.
kind of ties into like a little bit of the lab thing. It's like you don't need to
Right.
overanalyze it. If you like it, you like it. Make a ring with it. Who cares? Right. Like
Exactly. No
It's
one's
over,
gonna judge.
it's
Nobody
over
cares.
analyzing. I think people get into their head.
100%.
What are people going to think? What are they going to
Yes.
think if they see me with a solitaire diamond? Even if they dress it up and
Right.
they repurpose it. What are people going to think?
Right.
And do I have to explain? Well, actually, this is my no.
Right.
Do what you
What works
want.
for
Who
you.
cares?
Exactly.
Like, wear the diamonds.
Exactly.
Do it. Like who
Yeah.
cares?
So are people repurposing them into a different kind of design or
Yeah.
still taking that sort of solitaire vibe?
No, they
Yeah,
don't
'cause I was
want
gonna
it.
say,
They
like,
don't
want to look
solitaire.
bridal.
No, because that's
So
so
I'll
bridal.
show you. Like
okay.
these earrings. This was an eternity band.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Here, let's. I don't know if you can like.
Yeah.
Zoom in on
Zoom
them.
in.
I
I mean,
also
they're
I have
stunning.
good pictures of them, so I could add
And
that
what
in.
shape are they?
Those are pear-shaped
These
diamonds.
they're beautiful.
so beautiful.
This was one
I love a
eternity
pear-shaped.
band.
That was an eternity band.
and now they're earrings.
And now they're earrings.
Wow, I never would.
Like you would never even
you
think
would never
that.
know. You would never. Yeah.
Very clever.
But so that's like a cool way to use
Yeah.
stones.
Right.
I have pictures as well. Like, should I
Mhm.
show them to you now or like?
Well, we'll pepper them into like a reel.
You'll send them to me.
them.
And
Okay.
then, and then
And
we'll put them in.
Okay.
Send them to.
Yeah.
a
So
bride
like
guy.
I've done, like so this is plain gold, but I've had
Mm.
people give me a stone and then we put it into a signet sort of
Oh,
shape.
that.
And then they make it into a
Yeah.
really cool
That's so
and
pretty.
that's
pinky
very
ring.
on trend right now.
Yeah.
Like these
Very.
big
Or, like, this
pinky
won't
rings,
fit
like
my-
cocktail ring.
Right. This won't
Yeah.
fit my index finger, but like you could put it
Yeah.
as your index finger,
Yeah.
right?
Reminds me of my grad ring. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is a wrap ring style.
Okay.
We've done so
Mm.
many where we add a stone on one side, a stone on the other.
Oh.
You put it
Because then
on
it's
like your middle
multi-sized.
finger.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Does not look bridal whatsoever.
No.
Right.
And let's say you take your like engagement ring stone or whatever, and then you put it on one end, and then you can even do like colored
I was gonna
stones
say,
on
like
the
a
other end.
birthstone.
Birthstones
Or
of your kids.
Your kids, or like a pearl or
Yeah,
something.
or whatever
like,
it is that you like.
Right.
Or like I've had for someone, she took one of her, I don't remember, she had like a natural diamond from someone. She wanted to do 2 stones. And so we matched it with a lab just to keep
That's
costs
smart.
down. Like this was an
Wow, that's
accessory
so
piece.
That's
smart.
actually really smart.
Yeah. So, and we made her like a double stone ring.
Love that.
nice.
And then like this is a similar beaded ring with like it depends on how big your stone
Yeah.
is.
More
but, like,
casual.
a casual
stacker-
stacking ring. Like you
yeah.
could put that, even if
Yeah.
it was bigger, and like stack it with other rings. But
So
you
smart.
incorporate texture. It just doesn't give off like I'm engaged.
Right.
You know?
And it's custom.
And it's custom.
And so you
There's a
actually,
story.
well, I just think part of that, again, going back to the reclaiming and
Yeah.
the reinventing is being part of the process. Because you could just go to the store and buy a ring.
I
right.
know where you're going with this.
Right? But
Yeah.
it's like, it is this taking back.
It's like your story and
you're changing the story's ending of that ring.
Right.
It's
right.
like it started off with love. It ended maybe not so good in the
Right.
middle, but its journey isn't over yet.
Right.
Neither is yours.
Right.
So
Right.
let's design. Let's take this thing
Yeah.
that started off so beautifully and like get back to that, but
Yeah.
in like a redefined kind of way.
Totally.
I also
love
think
it.
the engagement is kind of like out of your control
for many.
for many who
Not
know,
anymore.
I was
right?
going to
You know
say,
what I mean?
I don't know a single
Like,
woman anymore
doesn't-
who's not picked their own
who
ring.
hasn't picked their own ring.
Yeah. To me, I think the fun is out. Like I like the idea of a man picking,
Yeah.
thinking that he knows you enough to make this
don't.
choice. But usually they're asking a friend or your
Right.
mom or your
Usually,
sister,
yes.
right? Like they're trying.
At a minimum.
At bare
Usually
minimum,
they're
you're
coming
so fit.
prepared with a
Something that is
Pinterest
done
board.
Yes.
to you. It's not like
Yeah.
you are taking the
You don't get to decide what day,
no,
how,
like this, but
who's
this
there.
is all you.
Yeah. This
right?
is you
This
picking for
you
you.
picking for you.
Yeah.
You're independent.
A,
You
a
don't
ring
have
that
to
I
please
just made
anybody
for
else.
someone
Yeah.
that was so nice. I was so happy with it. So her whole ring was covered in small diamonds.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she wanted a ring that didn't look bridal, and she wanted something that she could wear all the time. Like she
Yeah.
was like, I'm sick of this ring as it is,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because it actually like it represented a lot of bad things for
Yeah.
her. But she was at the stage where she was past it,
Right.
and she was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna use it, and I want to make something out of it that I'm gonna love.
Yeah.
And so we took out all the small stones. I have a picture of it. I'll
Yeah.
show you. We took out all the small stones and made her like this is a dome ring. We
Mm.
made a much bigger domed ring and scattered them all throughout the ring.
Oh, don't.
And
I
it was
love
so
that.
cool.
That sounds gorgeous.
That's
Yeah.
stunning. I
Yeah,
love
like almost like
that.
constellation-y, like
Oh, it's-
stars.
Yeah.
sounds
And like
gorgeous,
when
yeah.
she picked it up, she was over the moon happy.
Oh,
She's like, I can wear this every single
Yeah.
day, and I love it. And it represents like where I'm at in
Different
life.
chapter.
It's casual but
Yeah.
elegant.
I love that.
It was so great.
So nice.
Yeah.
Have you had instances where people are like, "Oh, I still can't wear it. It still reminds
Like
me
years
too much."
later,
of."
they still cannot.
I would
look
just be
at it.
curious if
Not that they've
Yeah.
come and told me.
no,
Maybe they sell it like at that
Maybe,
point,
yeah.
Or they just put it away and they're like,
Give it to their kid
yeah,
later.
but- yeah.
Put a safety deposit box and
Yeah.
deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kids will deal with it at some
Exactly.
point.
Yeah.
well, because it's just I can imagine how emotional it would be, and
Yeah.
so I love your pause advice. I think pause is
Yeah.
the only advice anyone should ever give anybody, regardless of circumstances.
Going through any
just pause. Just take
major
a beat.
life
Don't,
event.
Yes.
is
Don't
just-
make any
just
major decisions.
Don't make
at
major
this time.
decisions. Don't
It's
get
like,
bangs
don't get
and don't
bangs.
sell your rings.
Don't get
bangs.
Don't get bangs. Don't sell your rings.
That's our advice.
That's
You
our
heard it here
advice.
first.
They're
So
professional.
funny.
That's so great. So
so great.
cute. So all of the sort of redesigning, all your meetings, you're doing that in person. You're sitting down with
Usually,
them.
It is often.
What's the process?
Usually it's an in-person meeting. We have done work remotely too, but it involves being comfortable with, sending jewelry.
Yeah, what
Because
is
if I'm
the-
taking,
What does that look like?
Yeah, do you
Sending jewelry.
do a receipt, a deposit? Like
Sounds
how
like a
does
risk.
yeah?
it can be absolutely,
Yeah,
which is
usually
why a lot of
Purolate-
people.
like Purolator?
No,
Like-
you could do FedEx or
Yeah.
Purolator or UPS or whatever it is that you want, but you're taking a risk. There's no
Yeah.
question about
Yeah.
putting it in. Obviously, the packages are insured, and you do overnight with a signature and
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's not like a lot of people aren't necessarily. I find in Canada and in Toronto's,
Yeah.
it's a more conservative.
Mm.
It's a bit more conservative. Like
Right.
in general, people's style is more conservative compared to
Yeah.
like New York
Yeah.
or
yes,
even
they're more like
Montreal.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is like very
Yeah.
European and
Yeah.
very fashion
Yeah.
forward.
yes.
Torontonians, I think, in my opinion, from what I see, are just a bit more conservative and traditional.
Mhm.
More
So
classic.
I have people who will drive in from
Right.
out of town, like from the outskirts of Toronto, to see me.
Yeah.
Whether it's Guelph, Windsor,
Right.
Sure.
London.
Yeah.
But it is an option to ship it and work remotely. We've done that
Right.
before.
Right.
But if it's someone that is able to kind of come in and make an appointment, they usually opt for that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're buying a stone, like I would imagine you would want to look at it in person.
So actually, with the
Right?
labs, a lot of people are comfortable buying remotely,
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're totally crystal
And
clear.
it's like
But
standardized.
the
yeah.
natural stones, they're
I've
all
also
gonna have
sold those over virtually.
really?
Yeah.
I
In COVID,
think
I sold a
most,
lot.
yeah.
like if
Yeah.
they have little inclusions, like,
Yeah.
it might reflect
Well,
the light differently.
the-
like
How
how
it would have all the stats, like
Right.
The
facts.
stats don't always tell all the
Oh
story.
no!
Yeah,
eh?
no.
Oh,
They
say
don't.
more.
No.
What do you mean?
Well,
like
you
if you know
can
the
have
clarity and the cut and the carrot.
6, 7,
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a con.
VS,
Yeah,
VS,
VS1, VS2.
Yeah.
You can have two stones that are graded the same, but will completely reflect
Look
differently.
differently.
Yeah.
right. So like what if
Interesting.
they buy it and then they
So when
Like,
I
how
was
does that
doing
work?
it virtually,
Yeah, during
like
COVID.
that started during COVID. I mean, I would take pictures of the stone in
Yeah.
natural lighting,
Right.
no extra lighting whatsoever,
Hmm.
okay?
so that you could see it in like a real environment. And I would send it to them via email.
Yeah.
yeah.
And listen, when you have like a bit of a reputation,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
people's comforts are
Built up some
eased a little
trust.
bit because
Right.
they were referred directly to me, so they feel that they have that peace of mind.
Yeah. Vetted. Yeah, for
Or
sure.
like we've interacted so many times that they've.
Right.
But I always say like I can't tell you to trust me. Like you have to feel
Right.
that inside.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, you could totally. I mean, with the people buy labs all the time without
Yeah.
seeing them
Yeah.
because they're all created perfectly.
Right.
Right.
So,
So it's just about creating the size and
Yeah.
or like deciding on the size.
Yeah.
Um.
And so if do you have clients that are like, okay, here's my engagement ring. Can you do something with it? Because I hate it and I don't know and I'm not
Yeah,
stylish
Carte
and
blanche. Or like
yeah,
give me
like,
some
that must be
ideas.
so
like
fun.
give me
Yeah.
some ideas of what because I wouldn't know. Like so like give me some ideas of like what
No,
you
we
think
can
you could-
we do that all the time. That's
Yeah.
like
That's
a
fun.
redesign. That if it's that's like okay, let's say you're not getting divorced. It's just like my 10-year anniversary.
need
I
an
want
upgrade.
I need an upgrade.
Upgrades
Yeah.
and
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And I
You could-
think, can I just have pause for a minute
Yeah.
on that?
Mhm.
Because I don't think that people appreciate the upgrade. Maybe we need to lower the expectation of your first, like your engagement ring, the one where he pops the question, if you will,
Right.
or she or whomever they. That it's okay if in 10 years you're like, well, this thing's kind of dinky.
Right.
And we've come so far in
Right.
our life's
Let's
journey.
celebrate that.
Right.
Let's celebrate
Yeah.
it and let's go either together to pick something new or, off you go with a new task. of
Jonathan.
Finding a new task. No, I think it's so special.
Yeah.
There's so much pressure put on people to spend
100%.
so much money. And like, again, I see the wedding world.
She's an officiant.
I still have a toe in the
Ah.
wedding world. And
Okay.
I watch these people spend tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
on one day. And so like my tagline is always like, I hope your marriage is just as nice as your wedding. Because
Yeah.
what are you doing? Stop investing
Yeah.
so much money. So it's okay if you want to have a smaller ring, have a smaller wedding, because there's always time to change. No
Right.
one expects you to live in your first ever condo for the entirety of your
Right.
life.
Right.
We have no problem upgrading our living situations,
Starter
our cars.
homes,
Right.
starter
Right?
cars,
Right.
Yeah,
starter
like
rings,
my
starter
Honda Civic.
husbands.
For many, that too.
First, I know. I
Well, why not
joke.
upgrade? No, I don't think you should. I think that's just as valid. We're not the same people we are.
it's
We
true.
were in our 20s.
Right.
Here's hoping that in 20 years I've grown
some
slightly
people outgrow
and
their
changed.
diamonds. Some people outgrow their husband.
Exactly. Upgrades can happen.
You can upgrade in
Upgrades
different
can
ways.
happen.
But
They
there
can
doesn't
happen.
have to be such this pressure
wives.
to be like, you need a
No.
3-carat engagement ring because
No.
Instagram demands it.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel
I'm
that's
sad for
I know
them.
that is why
Pressure.
that is
Little.
why I am. I don't know. Like I get that the 3-carat is beautiful and like
Sure.
it's attention
yeah.
grabbing
Yes.
and whatever, and it's
Everyone's
big
like,
and
"Show
it's
me the
sparkly.
ring,
Yeah,
show
and you
me
want
the
to show
ring."
something that people are going to be impressed by.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, like it's what happens in your home.
show me your marriage.
And exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I think it's a beautiful thing to like. My husband's gonna kill me, but I'm so gonna say it. My husband got me a beautiful engagement ring. It's not this.
Because you hated it?
No, I love
Oh,
it.
okay,
I love
good.
it. But there's a little imperfection.
Uh-oh.
And he thought I wouldn't be able to see it.
But doesn't he know?
You know-
you were raised with one of those things in your eye.
I don't need the thing.
Like, forget pacifier. You
Yeah, I
have
know.
the thing.
But I don't even need the thing.
You don't need the thing.
I don't
What's
need
it called?
the
I
thing.
don't know.
The loop, it's called.
The loop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mag. And it's a beautiful ring. And I
Yeah.
love it. And there's that little imperfection. And I see it all the time. And he's
Yeah.
always like, how could you see it? I'm like,
I see your imperfections.
I can see it. Not your.
funny, yeah.
So now he's always like, I'm going to get you a new one. And
okay.
I'm like, don't get
Yeah.
me a new one. And he's like, why? I'm like, because it's so cute that you thought I couldn't see it. And he's like, and it's
That's
beautiful.
True love. That's true love.
I will
yeah.
say I am very, thank God, blessed to be extremely happily married,
Yeah.
and I have a wonderful home and wonderful children, and that's a gift that I've been given, and
Mhm.
I'm truly grateful for it.
Yeah.
And I love my husband with my whole heart.
Yeah. And
Even
there's
though I'm on
imperfection.
and I'm on a divorce podcast.
Yeah.
When I told him this morning, I was like, I feel like I'm cheating on you. And then I told him, he's like, go do it. It's
Yeah.
great. But like that ring has a little tiny
That's so
black
funny.
dot, and I see it
Ooh.
every time. And every time he's like, he holds my hand. And he's like, really? You see it? I'm like, yeah, I see it. And then he's like, I'm gonna get you a new one. And I'm like, don't. It's
Don't.
so cute that you thought I couldn't. I want to keep it forever.
Yeah. It's perfect.
And like
Love
that's
that.
where we were, and I will remember that
Yes.
forever.
Beautiful.
And imperfections does
Are
not mean you
okay.
just throw
Yeah.
things
You can
Yeah.
hold on to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Builds character.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
so much, Jess. What a
so-
fun
Oh.
convo.
Yeah, this
this
was
is
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love
Ooh,
it.
dive so deep.
I
We
know.
have covered so much ground.
Yeah.
I know, we
That's
love
how we
it.
roll here at
We
Dirty
don't even know where
Laundry.
we're going to start, where we're going to end, and it's
Yeah.
it's a great thing.
So for all of our
Good
listeners
convos.
who want to
Yes. How do
reclaim,
they find you?
Okay,
where do they
so-
go?
If you're looking for like gifting ready to ship items, we're www.jessicajewellery.com, and then you can shop online. To do custom work, it's best to reach out directly. Probably easiest over Instagram.
Perfect.
And then we take it to email. We shift all of our clients over to email.
Love it.
So we have a proper sort of correspondence.
DMs are great.
Yeah, but DMs can start like that way.
Yeah,
But you
love
can
it.
also look on our feed for tons of ideas
Amazing.
of different pieces. We showcase a lot of redesigns on there.
Mm.
And whether they are like divorce redesigns or just upgrades
Sure.
or just changes or whatever, the sky is the limit.
So fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
Thank
it.
you so much. This was
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
It was really fun to be here.
So fun.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Great.
Jess.
It was great. This episode was written and created by Alex Howard and Amanda Silver, produced, edited, and engineered by RTF Productions. Make sure to rate and review our show if you loved it, and give us a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you stream your podcast to stay up to date on all upcoming episodes. Thanks for listening, and go easy on us. We're not your ex.